It's one game.
Kind of battle test at this point. We know who we are.
On one night.
You know, win or go home, survive in advance. That's all I'm thinking about.
After a season full of twists.
You want a bit of a challenge. You know, that's the point of us being competitors, is being able to beat people at their best.
It all comes down to this.
When you got something great to go get, it's human nature, right? You're going to give a little bit more.
Indy and Houston, winner to the playoffs. It's a Saturday showdown in the Circle City tonight. Indy, are you ready? It's a prelude to the playoffs tonight at Lucas Oil Stadium. Win and end for both the Colts and the Texans. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. I am Brad Brown. A huge Saturday of football getting ready to go downtown. We've got a pair of Week 18 matchups coming up. Pittsburgh and Baltimore is up first. Indy and Houston, the main event, at 8:15. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Colts, and at the halfway point of the season, it looked like that would be the story. But suddenly, they've earned this playoff opportunity in their home finale. Here's a look at how tonight came to be.
3 weeks in a row, it's, I just think that it's just the little details that's beating us, you know what I mean? It's nothing special.
As the calendar turned to November, the Colts had a tall hill to climb. That 3-5 record included 2 losses to the Jaguars, so a tie in the standings would not be enough. But timely matchups against the Panthers and Patriots led to a pair of much-needed Colts wins, getting Indy's record back to 500.
It feels great, you know, everybody, we all come out here every day and put in the work, and it feels good to have it kind of show off in a big way on a big stage.
The bye week fell after that European journey, and the Colts came back with a renewed energy to pick up a 27-20 win over Tampa Bay.
I mean, you always try to go out there and have that type of performance moving the football. But, you know, we played well. Guys went out there, played hard, and we made plays today.
The win streak would reach 4 in a thrilling overtime game down in Nashville. And during the stretch, the Jaguars started to slip. Suddenly, the Colts were finding themselves back in the AFC South's conversation. But then things got a bit tricky. The Colts' trip to Cincinnati may have been their worst showing of the season, and it put big doubts back into their postseason prospects.
It's never going to be an easy game in the NFL, no matter what a team's record is and different things like that. And today was definitely just that reinforcement. And being a young team, kind of a wake-up call, you know, well, we went on a 4-game win streak, but a lot of these guys haven't played meaningful football in December yet.
But then there was a bounce-back win against the Steelers, some of the Colts' best football, on that Saturday night. A similar pair of games closed out December. Christmas Eve in Atlanta, the Colts got slammed again. But then on New Year's Eve back here at home, a hard-fought victory over the Raiders. A 9th win when 7 or 8 for the Colts seemed very optimistic months earlier.
I think the energy in this team, the belief that we can go out there and beat anybody on any given Sunday, the way we prepare, the motivation that our coaches give us, and, you know, empowerment to go out there and play well, just this resilience and not to lose.
That brings us to Week 18 and a largely ridiculous prospect when the season started. A 3-way tie between Indy, Jacksonville, and Houston. Only 2 playoff spots to be had, and one of those right here tonight.
This is stuff you dream about, you know, these kind of opportunities, these big games. You don't play for, you know, the regular season. Nobody cares. Shoot, we're playing prime time Saturday night. Let's ride, man. It's going to be fun. Gardner Minshew signed on here last spring with the intent of being a placeholder while the franchise drafted its quarterback of the future. But when it was time for Minshew to be the man to lead the Indy offense, it turned out he was in the right place at the right time. From the very start, Gardner Minshew was ready and willing for whatever might have been ahead in his Colts tenure.
When you come in the league, you know, just the work habits are different. The workload is different. How you have to study, how you have to take care of your body, how you have to talk to other people and get them going, you know. So just trying to help him, share my experience that I have. I don't know everything, you know, but I want to help.
By mid-October, he went from able-bodied backup to full-time starter and quickly went from what if to what now.
Being off the field and not being able to play just really, you know, ignites that fire, and you realize, you know, how much you miss it. And I'm just grateful every time I get to step out there.
And what followed was both a pleasant surprise and not really that shocking to those on the inside. 3 losses out of the gate, but then Minshew led the Colts to 6 wins in the last 8 games, and now this shot at making the AFC playoffs.
He's got great energy about him. I think that's a big thing. He's always upbeat. like I said, he always gives us a chance to win, and that's what you want in your quarterback. Every time you step out, the players have belief in him, coaches have belief in him, and I think that's where it starts. And when you go out and execute like he's been doing, it's been awesome to see, and just very thankful that he's on this football team.
All you saw before was, the Minshew mania and things like that. But when you actually have him in the building, it really is like that. He knows it's not going to be easy, and he still continues to come in here each and every single day with a smile, with the energy, light, having fun, because if it's not going to be easy, then why not just have fun doing it together with the guys you've been working with all season?
He gives a team hope. When he plays and he goes in there and makes plays, it's like, whoa. We got a chance when he first came in. Like, oh, it's not we lost our quarterback. Oh, boy, this is going to be a struggle. When he came in, he made plays, and I think it gave a team, that hope that, wait a minute, no, we got a chance here now with this guy.
Minshew's stat line is not overwhelming by any means, but there are a lot of teams in the league that would be doing backflips to get a backup quarterback that has done this well. Only 4 turnovers in this last 8 games. He'll likely need one more above average showing tonight to get a win. Still ahead, 11 and 44 are their uniform digits, but their numbers on the box score are setting records. A pair of Colts adding their accolades to some of the franchise's best ever. All the way back to week 2 for the first meeting of the season between Indy and Houston, a 31-20 road win for the Colts. Anthony Richardson ran for a pair of touchdowns in the first quarter, but a concussion put him out of the game before halftime. So Gardner Minshew came in and he managed the rest well. A touchdown pass to Kylan Granson, and Zach Moss ran for a score. C.J. Stroud threw for 384 yards, but the Colts defense had 6 sacks against the Texans QB. Both teams a long way from that form as we come into this one. The focus around Indy's team all season has been the team. There have been so many guys in and out of the lineup as the first 16 games have come and gone. But a pair of individual performances stand out, not only for this season, but in the long history of the Colts franchise. Michael Pittman Jr. has emerged as the #1 target among the Colts receiving corps, and that came after some rumblings in the middle of the season that he was not getting enough touches. Point taken and point made. Last Sunday, Pittman eclipsed 100 catches for the season, and that came in just 15 games. He was out Christmas Eve in Atlanta for concussion protocol. Pitt is legit, and he's ready to keep the offense rolling along.
We're so close to making playoffs, which hopefully will be my second time. And coming in, we made it my very first year, and I thought, hey, we're going to do this every single year. And that's not how it goes. So just to be able to be in this spot, it's awesome.
104 grabs this season. Only 3 other Colts have ever reached triple-digit receptions. And how about this trio? Marvin Harrison, he did it 4 straight years. Reggie Wayne also had 4 of those seasons, and Dallas Clark got his in 2009. The Colts are hoping to add plenty more to Pittman's total tonight. Defensively, the Colts have broken their single-season record for quarterback sacks. The big guys have tallied 49 from 14 different players leading up to tonight's finale. But it's been Zaire Franklin's tackle total that continues to solidify his place among the team's all-time greats. 170 takedowns this season. It improves upon his own record set just a year ago. Some other outstanding names on this list, but Franklin's last 2 seasons have topped them all. Z continues to be the alpha for the Indy D.
Last year, you breaking records and you making plays, and the team is not successful. The team stinks. You know what I mean? It's almost empty. This year, just being able to make plays to help the team win, and then with everybody else being successful. For me, it's always better when my guys come too. You know what I mean? Seeing EJ ball out, seeing Buck ball out, seeing Grove ball out, Sampson. I keep going on and on. That's what just makes this whole year that much better.
Keep in mind, Zaire missed the November 5th game at Carolina. He's also been named Indy's nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year for his great work all over Central Indiana, a key figure on and off the field. The Colts have taken big strides at bringing mental health to the forefront of a national conversation, and not only in the locker room. Kicking the stigma has grown into something so important for so many people. WRTV's Caitlin Kendall has a closer look.
making tackles, hitting the field, and playing the game. A few things the Indianapolis Colts are known for.
Help one person, right? I mean, it's worth it.
But the organization is working to make mental health a priority too.
Kicking the stigma.
It's all part of their Kicking the Stigma campaign, an initiative that started in 2020 to take the shame that's often associated with mental health away.
Impacts all of us. And I think our goal is really to make it an everyday conversation. How are you feeling? Accepting that it's okay not to be okay.
And the players have come on board too.
I think it just makes an incredible amount of difference in the world.
For Ryan Kelly, talking about it has given him an outlet to open up about some of his biggest struggles.
My wife and I's story of losing our daughter.
Kelly has talked about the heartache his family faced in 2021. His wife Emma miscarrying their daughter, Mary Kate, at just 19 weeks.
I think everybody's got their own story of something, whether it's death or depression or whatever it is, right? Everyone's going to go through this life and walk a perfect life.
Kenny Moore II has also found refuge in talking about things he's going through.
Talking about it just makes me feel better. Everybody is going through something, so I never try to make it seem like my problems are bigger than anyone else's.
The Colts organization is hoping they can be an example in making strategic change around the mental health stigma.
I think that the vulnerability from players that have told their stories as well has really helped, resonate with the community. That these guys, these big, tough football players, are also going through something very similar. I think is truly powerful.
Us as an organization, us as an ownership group, we're acknowledging the stigmas that are associated with mental health, and we want to actively do something about it.
I'm just blessed to be a part of an organization that cares.
In Indianapolis,
I think it just makes an incredible amount of difference in the world.
Caitlin Kendall, WRTV.
Another huge part of the Kicking the Stigma campaign is to raise money for mental health organizations. To date, they have given out more than $25 million, primarily in Indiana, but also across the country as well. Their goal is to improve the research and resources surrounding mental health. Indy's in the spotlight tonight, and there will be a ton of that in the year ahead. We get a look at the next set of big events coming to the Circle City when this WRTV Sports Special continues. A look at this dated Colts history. The last time they played at home on January 6th. A wild card win over Kansas City, 23-8 the final score. Adam Vinatieri kicked a trio of field goals. Joe Adai had a TD run, and a Manning to Wayne touchdown capped the win. It was the first step to the team's run to a world championship that would come 4 weeks later in Miami. It's only the first weekend of 2024, but this year's calendar is full of huge events in the Circle City. WRTV's Nicole Griffin has a look ahead.
2024 is blockbuster. If you want to use the word epic, you can use the word epic.
The city of Indianapolis, a destination for big events year after year, and the 2024 calendar is filling up.
Airbnb just came out naming Indy as one of the top travel destinations and their 2024 top travel trends picks.
First up, Indy is host of the 73rd annual NBA All-Star Game. From February 16th to February 18th, the courts at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and Lucas Oil Stadium will be action-packed, including the Celebrity Game and NBA All-Star Saturday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Indianapolis is ready. There's no better place for the world to come and see where we grow basketball.
The NBA All-Star Game is Sunday, February 18th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse at 8:30 p.m. In March, the Circle City will welcome back basketball fans once again for the first and second rounds of the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Indianapolis hosts not only sporting events, but events in general better than anyone else in the country.
The March Madness action will take over Gainbridge Fieldhouse March 22nd through the 24th. And on April 8th, sky gazers will flock to Indianapolis and spots across central Indiana.
The chances of seeing one in your lifetime is about once every 375 years.
Indiana is the prime viewing spot for a total solar eclipse that will darken skies along a narrow path from Texas to Maine. NASA is even hosting its live eclipse event from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then May is right around the corner.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yes, we are already counting down to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Today I had an opportunity. I was not going to let it go. I was either wrecking the car or I was winning the race.
Thousands of fans will travel here on May 26th to watch the greatest spectacle in racing.
I came from Rio de Janeiro just to come for the race,
Just watch the race.
On to June. For the first time ever, the U.S. Olympic swimming trials will be staged on a football field, and Lucas Oil Stadium is the destination. Swimmers hoping to represent the USA at the Olympic Games in Paris will compete here for their spot on the team from June 15th through the 23rd.
Our hospitality industry has been steadfast in keeping Indianapolis in the very top tier of host cities in the country.
And it turns out it is not the end of an era yet.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Swifties are coming to Indy for 3 shows, November 1st through the 3rd.
We know Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be full. We know the hotels are going to be full. We know restaurants are going to be full, and this city is going to be alive that first weekend of November next year.
This will be Taylor Swift's first visit to Indianapolis since September 2018 when she played the Reputation Tour at Lucas Oil Stadium. And college football fans will return to Indianapolis in December once again for the Big Ten Championship game, hosted where else but Lucas Oil Stadium.
The best town to have events, and especially sporting events.
The game is scheduled for December 7th, 2024, wrapping up a major year of events for the city of Indianapolis.
Stephen Holder, following the Colts all season for ESPN.com, joins us now as we get set for this Saturday showdown. When we were at Grand Park in August, did you ever think we'd be standing here in January talking about something like this for the season finale?
No, no, absolutely not. I was just hoping they could get to their over-under mark, which I think was 6.5 wins.
Yeah.
If Vegas, they tend to know things, but they were wrong on this one. I picked them with the over, maybe 7 wins was my thought, and I thought for that to happen, everything would have to work well, right? Anthony Richardson would have to be dynamic. Remember him? And I thought that they would have to be really good on defense, and none of those things have really gone according to plan, and somehow they've overcome all of it. So really remarkable.
What has surprised you most then about this team getting to 9-7 and having a shot like this?
I just think the fortitude, the resilience, particularly because last season we saw this team in adverse situations and then they consistently fell on their collective face. Yeah. This year, what we have seen is a team that has embraced those situations and has, really stood the test every single time. Not every time, but in many cases. And that to me is what you get from an experienced team, a proven team. None of the things we thought this team was. So that tells you something about the squad.
We kind of knew what we had with this team coming in. The likes of Buckner and Franklin, Pittman, Taylor when he got to it there. But there have been so many guys that have stepped in kind of on a one-off and kind of as needed that have surprised some people but have really executed when they needed to. And a long list of guys that have just barely been Colts but have really been able to contribute as they needed to.
Yeah. The guy who comes to mind that I think fits that category best is like Zach Moss at running back. And the things that he did while Jonathan Taylor was out early on in the season, I mean, that running game really powered that good start. Without that good start to the season, just 2-2, or 3-2 eventually. But without that, they're not in this position to even make this run.
Gardner Minshew, speaking of clutch performances, to step in the situation like he did and perform as well as he has. What about Gardner beyond the X's and O's? We've kind of talked about this as the season has gone on. Do you think has made him most effective with this group?
I think he has really embraced his role as the leader of this team. At least, on game day, the quarterback has the ball in his hand on every play. That comes with some responsibility. You can't avoid that. And he has stepped up to that role. I think you can see some of the post-game videos that the team releases, and you saw the one last week. Shane Steichen gets done talking to the team, and then he gives Gardner Minshew the floor and lets him basically wrap things up. And he had a great message. He said, all we wanted was a chance. And we didn't say this would be easy, but, we got a chance now. What are we going to do with it? And that got a rousing response from the team. That tells you that they believe in him.
The big question now, are we still talking Colts football a week from now? Give you kind of the short prediction here for this Saturday's game. What do you think?
Give them slight edge here. Being at home, I think that plays into their defense's hands. Young quarterback, maybe you can kind of affect him that way. You get the pass rush to him, get him off that spot. I think I'd give the Colts a slight edge. It will not be easy, but I'm going to go with the Colts.
Okay, we'll see if we're still talking some playoff football a week from now. Stephen Holder, ESPN.com. Thanks for joining us. Kickoff under the lights this evening, but some tailgate time ahead of that. We get you set for game night in Indy, next on WRTV.
Heading out to the Colts game this evening, doing a little bit of tailgating. For sure, going to need to bundle up out there. We've got our temperatures in the mid-30s. Fortunately, winds will only be between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. The temperature's holding very steady as we still have the clouds, and as we get into the game here, could see a few snowflakes flying by that giant window, a few snow showers out there. TrueCast shows it's going to be a very light precipitation event here as we get into our Saturday evening, and by tomorrow morning it wraps up. Just be careful of any slick spots as you head home from the game.
Time to settle in for a full Saturday in this NFL doubleheader. ESPN Countdown is up next. They'll get you set for both matchups. Pittsburgh and Baltimore go at 4:30, and then at 8:15, Indy and Houston. It's win and in for both teams' playoff hopes. We're back here when it's done with post-game reaction live from Lucas Oil Stadium. For all of us at WRTV, I'm Brad Brown. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.